This is very much a small town feel, the parade.
Oh my gosh, it does. Every time that it happens.
This is the Sons of the American Revolution. It's the Colusa chapter. We are just a couple of blocks away from the Caloosahatchee River. Again, I started to talk about our sponsors.
Yeah,
We've got the City of Fort Myers, the Fort Myers Police Department, Florida Power and Light, and of course Budweiser, who has taken very good care of both Jacqueline and myself this evening.
And we intend to keep that.
Absolutely true. And again, we are live streaming courtesy of FSW. Very happy to be working with them. And that means that in New Jersey, my niece or my nephew and his wife are sitting around watching this parade with their 2.5-year-old twins. And I would be remiss if I did not say hello to both Caitlin and Braden, who are watching their first Edison Festival of Light parade.
It's so cool that we get to stream
with
all
their
around
crazy
the
Uncle
world.
Ted as the announcer. So kids, we live really close to Disney World. Mickey and Minnie, you need to come and visit very soon. Guns and Hoses, you got to love these guys. Who doesn't love a bagpipe? John McMahon.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure to see the good Captain John McMahon. He's retired and he leads the Guns and Hoses through the parade on an annual basis.
We have seen these gentlemen out here quite a bit of late. A lot of these gentlemen and women, I should say.
So
And
do you prefer the bagpipe or the bass drum?
I would go bagpipe all day.
How do you not like a bagpipe? I want bagpipes at my funeral. I just don't want it soon.
Yes, I have friends who are members of law enforcement, local fire departments who are part of that group. Such a cool opportunity for them to reunite and always get to play the music.
You know, what's very nice is normally when I see Jacqueline, she's covering one of my wife's trials.
Every once in a while, Ted and I get to have a little fun together as well.
We are in the courtroom as someone is facing death. And instead, tonight we are sitting on the corner of Broadway and Main in downtown Fort Myers, the River District, and loving life. We've done something right to be here tonight.
Yeah, I couldn't be more grateful. And I thank you very much, Ted, for all you've done to bring this to Southwest Florida, to make it as great as it is every single year for the last 20 years or so.
20 years on my part.
We're lucky to have you.
Time flies
for sure.
when you're having fun, and we always have fun at the Edison Festival. This is a 2-week festival as we celebrate Thomas Edison's life. It included the junior parade that we did last Sunday. There are balls. There are junior and senior kings and queens of the mythical kingdom of Edisonia. Look at these.
Of course, some of our
young
Fort Myers Fire Department team.
And when I see the multiple fire trucks that are on their way through, the first, of course, is from the city of Fort Myers. I always think of my friend Anthony. We called him Fire Ant. He passed away. It's been 9 years, and I don't know how the time flies like it does. He was only 51 years old when he left. And we miss Fire Ant every day, and I know a lot of his friends are in the parade tonight, and they miss him as well. Absolutely.
The South Trail Fire Department with them as well. I have friends at South Trail. All of these men, Cape Coral just behind them.
South Trail and Cape Coral, and the South Trail Fire Department showed up at our house one day knocking on the door, offering to change. We didn't know what was going on. They offered to change our smoke detectors for free. And the new ones came with a 10-year warranty, so we let them in. And they changed our two, and now I tell people all the time, call the fire department, they will come out and do that. So.
Oh, even Southwest International Airport here for this evening. Of course, this is always a favorite part of a lot of the kids as the fire departments come on through.
I like the kids not only love being on the side of the road to watch this, but in a lot of cases you've seen the trucks go by and they've been lucky enough to actually get up on the truck and ride in the parade. One of these years, I'm going to get to ride in the parade.
Well, you're going to have to take the microphone off, or we're going to have to get a really long wireless,
That's exactly right. Iota McGregor towards the beach. Again, we are seated at the corner of Broadway and Main, just across the street from Hotel Indigo. We have changed our route a bit this year because of the construction going on in the River District.
It's the cost of being part of a growing city.
But the city has been fabulous to work with. We love Saeed and Mayor Randy Henderson.
We'll see them, I think, in a bit.
They will both be in the parade, and we'll tell you who
the Sanibel team were out on the islands there.
If you are listening anywhere in the world and you want a place to come vacation, this is a really good spot. Not just Fort Myers, but Jacqueline just mentioned Sanibel. There's Sanibel Captiva. They are part of the Barrier Islands in Southwest Florida. Lehigh Acres, a little further inland, but a beautiful part of the country.
Absolutely. And it looks like my friends are are coming up right behind there.
Here they come. They are the
You can see the city
Police
spelled out for you.
Motorcycle drill team, and you watch as they come down, and they will get it right because they get it right every time. It's going to spell out Indianapolis.
That's just how we like to see it. I could probably sing it for you, but I won't tonight.
One of these years I will sit down and figure out the anagram and come up with something else you could spell with all those letters, but when you look, you realize it can only be one thing.
It can only be one thing. And you know, the motorcycle law enforcement from all over the country, such a cool program that so many of them have. Those men and women, not only are they out there on the streets every day and do such a great job, but they also do cool stuff like this.
Right, and as you look down the street, and we're back on camera,
well,
so
there we are.
you know. But as you look down the street, you see the people lined on both sides, and this parade is already 45 minutes old by the time it gets to us. And it's got another 45 minutes to go, probably, maybe even longer than that. It's probably
I've walked in it, I tell you, it feels like every 2 miles that it is, but it is so much fun. And it is lined like this the entire way.
We get an estimate from the police every year, and normally that estimate is right around 200,000 people. My friend Mike Gill, who I always tell people, without Mike Gill, there would be no Edison Festival Parade. Mike is truly, along with John Taylor and Frank Shirkus, the nuts and bolts of this entire event.
And it takes a lot.
Mike says as he rides through the route, he counts all of the legs on the route. And when he gets to the end, he divides by 2.
That's what you would do.
And that's how he comes up with the
Better
number.
than multiplying
And the
by
number is normally 200,000 people. So
it is so impressive, so impressive. And I'm telling you, as you walk through, it's neat to have people along the route every step of the way. There's not a point in this route where you feel like, oh, where are the people? Oh my gosh. Every time you look up, you think there's more of them.
And up on US 41, people have backed up their trucks. They've got flatbed trucks. It's a big tailgate opportunity. People playing
I stopped and grabbed some ribs.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a big-time family event when you have 200,000 people like that. And, of course, we always pray for weather like this. This is Chamber of Commerce weather.
And that is exactly why we live here, Ted. No complaints.
They're lining up.
They certainly are. They live in a much, much colder climate this time of year.
I understand why they're happy to come down.
We couldn't be more glad
There's no
to
doubt.
have them down here for something like this. There they are, getting the letters in order, just as we like them. Such a cool program.
And across the street from us is the old courthouse. It's just over 100 years old. I think it's at 101 years old now. There are banyan trees in front. I don't know how much you'll be able to see in the dark. In the distance, but the view here is just spectacular. And here they come.
Here they come. The Indianapolis drill team on their motorcycles. Like Ted said, they do a lot of different things in a variety of settings.
The O seems to be unlit. We're going to have to find out what's going on there.
Well, just imagine an O, Ted, for me. I can spell it for you.
This is where I have to be careful when you say things like that.
I'm so glad you're here, sir.
So would that be a fake?
So glad. Yeah, you know what? If you can just imagine it for a second.
There you go.
They I'm sure, and they actually stop and they slow things down quite a bit for these parades.
Well, they have a lot of fans.
Because they do so many awesome things like this. I do actually. As it came out, I thought Ted is going to latch on to this, and I'm gonna be in trouble.
You better
I'm going to be in trouble.
Southwest Florida, of course, is a vacation paradise. Not only the beautiful weather and the beaches that we have here, but it is a hotbed of spring training, which starts on Friday here in town.
Ted couldn't be happier.
We've got the Boston Red Sox in Fort Myers, the Minnesota Twins just up the road, the Tampa Rays train in Charlotte County. There's always talk of bringing a team to Naples and Collier County. That will happen eventually, there's no doubt. And that's another great month down here. And I saw a story on your
so
station
many people
today about the money that spring training alone brings in. It's like $70 million a year that it brings into the city and county coffers.
And it's so funny too. There are just certain days that you can't even go to restaurants. Oh, it's a spring training day.
Exactly.
Don't try that one. You'll never get in.
A lot of traffic, but a lot of fun. We
yes.
Always have a good
oh
time,
my gosh.
So.
And always a great opportunity to see some of the guys play a little baseball down in Southwest Florida.
And when you do go to those restaurants, you see those guys. I mean, for years you've gone into restaurants and you've seen David Ortiz and Kirby Puckett before he passed away. And they're just out and about.
Ted's a little luckier than I, apparently, because I've never run into any of them at a restaurant, but I'm certain that, that Ted probably knows all the right spots to check them out. I have run into thousands of fans over the years here, though, and they definitely pile in, and we're always happy to have that.
You know, I take this opportunity as we await the parade and the motorcycle folks to come by our station right here to thank our board of directors and all of our volunteers.
Including you.
This doesn't just happen by itself. This is the people that throw their weight behind this event. It's just unbelievable to watch them. They love Fort Myers. They love what this parade brings to the town. And now here we go. Let's watch the Indianapolis Motorcycle Brigade as they wander through our site.
There is an O there.
Don't be upset, because I don't think they're done. I suspect you'll see them come back this way.
They typically do. They typically do. They do a lot of cool work, though. And I always love to see them down in Southwest Florida. It makes me feel a little like I'm at home.
Oh, they lined them up behind. Here they come. Look at this. All right.
A few stunts here and there.
That is very impressive.
Have you ever done that on a motorcycle, Ted?
You would be picking me up off the ground, and one of the ambulances that will be coming by a bit later on would be taking me away. There's no doubt about it. So
we would make sure you were taken care of, I promise.
We want to thank some more of our sponsors while we have time. Our Family Thrift Center friends and Suncoast Credit Union. Of course, LCEC, which is Lee County Electric Co-op. We could not do all of this without our sponsors. They contribute a lot financially and also in time and effort. Zambelli Fireworks, following the parade tonight, we've got an absolutely spectacular fireworks show. And everybody sticks around and waits for that because it is just a great grand finale to our parade, the 81st Annual Edison Festival of Light. Ted Fitzgeorge, board member, and from NBC2, the lovely Jacqueline Beavis, and we are so happy to have her as a part of the team.
I'm so glad to be here this year. Some of our military vehicles coming by here, even lit as they would be in Edison Festival fashion, with an American flag there on the side.
We have 12 vehicles, and the story behind this, of course, we're celebrating Thomas Edison. If you want to be in the parade, you have to be lit.
I have been told that.
Which would explain the couple of, adult beverages that we may have imbibed prior to the parade. But in order to be in the parade, there must be some form of lighting on your float. If you're walking, there must be some lights involved there as well. It is, after all, the Edison Festival of Light.
And of course, these men and women, we're so happy to have many of them lit, of course, with American flags and things of that nature along their military vehicles. And those are always cool to see in these parades.
You see somebody running.
I was going to say, is someone bringing food?
I'm not sure what that is that they got them, but we're kind of hungry at the table.
That guy must know a guy.
It is very much a down-home, hometown parade, without a doubt.
And we've seen a grill going in that corner for a while, so I can only imagine what he just handed them in that to-go.
Like I said, people come here and they tailgate, they cornhole, they barbecue. I mean, I've seen people roast entire hogs and feed 50, 60, 100 people during the course of the afternoon and the evening as we get forward and into the parade.
And we wouldn't complain about any of that.
Here comes some more lit up military vehicles. As we get into the older cars and also some of the newer cars, the Mustangs, we want to, of course, thank Sam Galloway and the Sam Galloway family of dealerships.
Always wonderful here in this community.
Sam and his entire family, Sam and Sam the Third, and Sam and Robert, and all of the Galloway family. Just tremendous friends of the festival, and we're thrilled to have them be a part of this every year. And some of the old cars and some of the new cars that you're going to see, just remember Sam Galloway and the Galloway family of dealerships.
They give back so much to this community.
Absolutely. I did a fundraiser last Monday night for Jennifer Galloway. She heads up the Gulf Coast Humane Society. And on a Monday night with about 50 people in the house over at Bruno's of Brooklyn, right here in downtown Fort Myers, we raised over $22,000.
And I have a feeling you had some Italian food while you were there as well.
They fed us
Oh,
like kings
my.
and queens. That was unbelievable.
I've
Great
eaten there a few
food.
times, and it's always
The
been
River
stellar.
District down here, if you haven't been down, you really need to think about coming down and checking it out. Under the guidance of Mayor Randy Henderson and our city council and our county commissioners, the downtown area, I've watched it start and stop over the years. Over the last 5 to 8 years, it has just blossomed. We have
The options
just a
and
wonderful
the opportunity.
downtown with stores and restaurants and bars and events. We do art walk every Monday, or I'm sorry, the first Friday of every month. And we do music walk the third Friday of every month.
I'll be quite honest with you, Ted. I came downtown last week. I can never remember what's the first and what's the third and what's what. But I'm always impressed because I come downtown. There's always something going on. I walked into Music Walk last night here in downtown. Oh my! I couldn't find a parking spot. It was
great bands,
phenomenal.
Absolutely worth it. And that is the leadership that we've had in Southwest Florida that has made that happen. And we draw people from all over. We draw from Cape Coral, which is just across the river. We draw from Lehigh. We draw from the south. People come up from Estero, Bonita Springs. They come from North Fort Myers. They come down from Punta Gorda.
And there's just tons to do down here.
That's the only way we're going to get 200,000 people out of the parade. We've got to draw people from other areas, and it works out really well.
I saw the other day someone said in any given year there's some like 64 events. There's only 52 weeks in a year. So for you to close the street off every weekend, but there is always something to do down here, a festival, a beer fest, which I always stop by.
We're going to get in trouble.
Speaking of that, actually, Millennial Brewing.
That's right.
Right here in downtown Fort Myers, one of our sponsors as well. And they've done a lot.
Owned by a very young couple.
Yes.
And very nice people. And they have jumped in feet first in all things that go on here in the River District in downtown Fort Myers. We are always thrilled as board members to find local businesses that want to get on board and sponsor different things.
Absolutely.
And Millennial Brewing Company is always at the top of that list. They do a great job.
I've seen them have quite a few events there and a lot of support.
Calusa tent and rental, a lot of, the chairs we're sitting on, and the table that's in front of us.
And we're not complaining.
And we've got a VIP tent. If you come down and you want to sit, you don't want to be in the parade route, you want to be in the VIP area for a nominal fee. You get dinner, you get beer, you get wine, you get a seat, and the parade goes right past you. It's just a wonderful experience. We've also got street seats. We offer seats to churches, schools, scout troops.
The Red Cross, I think we heard earlier, yeah.
They buy the seats for X amount of dollars. They sell the seats for X amount of dollars. They give us half the money. They keep half the money. It's a great way for the local places to raise money for their funds and their foundations. And
a lot of people get a chance at a nice seat and a front row spot if you didn't have time to come and X your spot off 2.5 months ago.
And Jacqueline mentioned that, and that's another great part of the festival and the parade. People start putting tape on the sidewalk 2 months in advance with their family name on it.
Oh my gosh, they're pushing this car.
This cannot be a good sign, but the car is being pushed.
You know what? Those gentlemen are really doing it,
too. Look at this. The car has stopped running, but it's going to finish the parade. That is worth some applause.
I don't know how long they've been pushing, but
that's spectacular.
It's probably not how they anticipated getting the workout in today.
Coming into sight, Vietnam Brotherhood. It is the Bravo Company, the Veterans of Vietnam, and it is the Vietnam Brotherhood. They'll have their motorcycles, more flags. It is a very patriotic parade.
Absolutely, and these gentlemen are quite excited. There. Thank you so much, sir.
We thank you all for your service.
A few of them even on a golf cart back here, it looks like.
A golf cart is transportation. It's a very popular mode of transportation in Southwest Florida. There are places that are close enough to bars and restaurants where you can get in the golf cart and drive.
Just pop
and
on
park
over.
the golf cart and go in and have dinner and a couple of drinks and get in your golf cart.
And you're home in a matter of seconds.
Home in a matter of seconds. It's just fabulous. Southwest Florida, if you have not been, please come join us and visit us and find out what we have to offer.
I've seen a lot of folks there on the McGregor corridor living in those golf carts, and they just pop in, they pop out, and they get around pretty easily on those things. They're also handing out flags.
There's Mimi.
Here.
She's got her own embroidered vest. You've got to like that. Thought we might get a flag, but it didn't happen.
You know, I thought we
so
might have. Oh, gosh.
Oh, she almost got run over by the golf cart.
Almost lost one.
There's an Indiana license plate on the truck that just went by.
Always my favorite. There's they say we see a lot of different license plates this time of year, don't we, Ted?
We do. That's how you tell the season has changed. People say, well, I don't like Florida. I like the change of seasons. If you like the change of seasons, watch the license plates.
They change.
The season has changed.
They certainly do.
That is a great, the car that just went by, it's called Orange Madness. That was, I would ride in that.
You don't own that, Ted?
I would ride in that.
We'll get you one of those.
There you go.
Shirley. For next year.
And don't call me Shirley.
Don't call me Shirley. Hey, you might have a chance at a flag here, though, Ted, if you ask nicely.
Oh, look at
this
that.
This is that point in the parade, too. Can we get a flag?
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. What's your name? Jackson? Okay.
Jazz. Thank you so much,
All
Jazz.
Right. Jazz.
Jazz is dropping off flags. Having walked in this parade, Ted, I can tell you he's lucky to have flags left. It's always the hard part to balance things out from the beginning to the end.
We tell folks all the time, it's okay if you've got someone that walks alongside of your group and hands things out. We don't want people throwing things. Because what we're concerned about, of course, is that the young children that are in the parade route, if you start throwing things, they run over each other to get things. And then next thing you know, they're in front of a car.
They absolutely will, and everyone is so excited. We're always...
Next up, that's Skip Mitchell. Skip, of course, is another nuts and bolts guy for the festival, and he does a great job getting everybody through. And as Skip goes by...
this is probably one of his favorite parts of the
next
parade.
up, this man right here is Chris Cowles. He is a very funny man. And Martha, they ride every year. If you get a chance, Chris is a stand-up comic here locally and works at the Laugh-In Comedy Cafe as the host and MC, and is...
I'll have to check him out.
Wet your pants funny. And our first band, it is our honor band, and it's our first band of the evening, and we're going to sit back and just let you enjoy. It's the probably the oldest high school in Fort Myers. It's the Fort Myers Green Wave Band. Smile.
The green wave down here in Fort Myers, and the people who don't get enough credit over there, the water hander-outers.
The water what?
Hander-outers?
Hander-outers.
That's all I could offer for you.
Hander-outers.
Fort Myers Mayor Randy Henderson to redeem me.
We just got done talking about it. That is Randy Henderson. Riding without Ginny, so Ginny must have had something else to do for him tonight to make him work. But look at him. He's always campaigning. And he is, again, in a Sam Galloway Ford. Actually, a Lincoln maybe this time. I'm not sure. We'll have to look and see as the car goes by. Don't be going by and not say hello.
Hello, sir.
Where's Ginny? We want to know where Ginny is. Beautiful.
Oh, Mayor Henderson thinks that Ted could have a future in this. He said, I'm handling things well, though.
Okay, we've been talking very highly of you. Awesome, great.
Oh, he said it's been great so far tonight.
Again, as we told you, Mayor Henderson is responsible for just about everything that has happened in downtown Fort Myers. Just been a fabulous representative of this city, and he comes out. He's coming over to say hello, and you gotta like that. Thank you, Mayor. You're the best. You're the best. That's awesome.
Good to see you, sir.
You having fun?
Of course we are having fun. Are you having fun, Mayor Henderson?
I want to see him jump back up on the car.
They're going to leave without him.
No.
Mayor Henderson actually getting a hug now as well from a family of Adam Jobbers Miller, an officer who was killed in the line of duty.
I'm waiting for this lady to get off the car and come say hello. Yeah, that's Teresa Watkins Brown. Teresa is a former board member of the Edison Festival.
I did not know that.
Yes.
A Fort Myers City Councilwoman. She serves.
I absolutely love Teresa.
She spends a lot of time working for the city and does a wonderful job.
All these folks work hard all year long, and this for them is just a great opportunity to go out and see people. And the signs on the cars let the people know. There's Fred Burson. Fred, it's always good to see you.
Mr. Fred Burson, and I believe he is with Gail Anthony as well there.
Is. Gail is over there
and,
too,
you can name the type of car, I don't know. Help me, Ted.
Gail, my stylist, and there's Kevin Anderson. Also a board member and a brand new city council member.
He is, and he's sitting with Terrellyn Watson.
And again, we talked about Saeed Kazemi, and Saeed is the city manager, and we could not do this without Saeed. He has been very instrumental in helping us replan the route and get everybody through.
And that man, Mr. Kazemi, has a lot of work on his plate.
Kevin is leaving us hanging.
He jumped down and he's
leaving us hanging.
Saeed has a lot of work on his plate always.
We're being videotaped here, as they say, so we want to make sure we wait.
But they're always busy down at the city, and it's good to see them have a chance to enjoy an evening like this.
Saeed, thank you for the great weather. This is perfect. Beautiful.
The NBC2 First Alert meteorologist providing the weather today.
We actually have, Mike Gill actually has somebody. I was at the parade meeting on Thursday night, and Mike let me get up first and talk. And I talked about us and doing this broadcast and going live streaming for the first time ever around the world, which is very impressive when you think about it, and something we never would have thought about even 20 years ago, that it would be possible to do, that wherever you were, you could watch and listen
something
to the
from
parade.
somewhere else.
It's just amazing. On the list of people that got up to speak that were on the agenda was Judge Keith Carey, and his listed obligation and responsibility was the weather. He's a judge, but he's done a fabulous job.
He downloaded the NBC2 First Alert weather app, and there we were.
Next up,
couldn't be luckier.
A huge friend of the festival. This is Chico's. Chico's, of course, a world-famous company of women's clothing, and their world headquarters are right here in Fort Myers, right here in Southwest Florida. And Chico's, over the years, has been just an incredible friend of the festival. And now we've got more police cars coming through. These are first responders. This is Lisa Barnes, the Deputy Chief of Police. Hello, Lisa.
From Cape Coral.
Cape Coral. Next up from Sanibel. That would be a good job.
A Sanibel police officer out on the island.
You're going to have to put that T-shirt back on, and my job here is done.
The Sanibel Police Department always works hard out there.
I often wonder, is it going to be my friend John Schultz? And John apparently got the night off.
Oh. So some of them are lucky. The Lee County Port Authority. Are they the ones who are?
They've also pulled me over for speeding.
The Port Authority, you can't go slowly through the airport at least.
But I talked my way out of it.
They even put some people in the back seat there. FWC, Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
And next up, my friends from Seminole Gulf Railway. This is Gordon and Susan Fay, who used to actually ride in the float or in the truck. Tell Gordon and Susan we said hello. All right. And this is the ambulance I was telling you about earlier, that if I were doing any of these things on the street, they would have to pick me up and take me to the hospital.
The first responders, of course, very important out here tonight. We do appreciate all of the hard work they do throughout the day.
If you've just joined us, we are celebrating the 81st Annual Edison Festival of Light. My name is Ted Fitzgeorge, board member for 20 years and counting, sitting alongside Jacqueline Beavis from NBC2.
Fort Myers Police Chief Derek Diggs in the car there for the Fort Myers Police Department. Of course, the Fort Myers Police Department at the helm of all of this and doing a lot of work to prepare for this evening. Here we are.
Our Grand Marshal, that is Tommy Bohannon. He's a North Fort Myers graduate. And as promised, a Bud Light for Tommy, courtesy of our very own Ann Cartier. He's putting it down, but he's got it.
He does.
And that's
I got the chance
to
meet Tommy.
Wife, Katie. Tommy and Katie are just fabulous. Tommy's got a great foundation. It's great to see him. It's TommyBohannonFoundation.org. Check it out. He does.
They do a lot of good things right here in the community.
He does a football camp. They provided spikes, cleats for the North Fort Myers High School football team. They mentor young children.
They also do a great one-day clinic.
They truly do. Tommy's just been great to get to know, and he's been a great friend of the festival this year, and we're so very happy to have Tommy and Katie on board. And this is the East Lee High School Marching Band. Again, I'll tell you, we have not talked about it, but this is an unusual time for the marching bands because this is not marching band season. Marching band season, of course, is during football season in the fall, so we're very happy when these guys get back together, put their groups together, put together a routine and come out with songs. And here comes our new sheriff, Carmen Marcina.
There is Carmen Marcina.
Carmen loves the parades. He really does. And he's missing us as he's driving by.
He did. But he did just thank the law enforcement that's out here with him.
He replaced Sheriff Mike Scott, longtime sheriff here in Fort Myers, just within the past year or so. And
accompanied,
Carmen,
of course, by the Explorer program.
Carmen is always out in the community, shaking hands, kissing babies.
He is always out here. And someone else that's always out here is McGruff, who's passing us, right?
He's on the other side.
Yeah, he's on the other side.
And next up, the Viking Band from Bishop Farrell High School. Bishop Farrell this year is not just providing a band, but a bit later on, our honorary Grand Marshal.
I thought we would see her this evening.
Sadler, and she is a senior at Bishop Farrell High School, waiting to see where she's going to go to college. Some of her choices are Georgia Tech, MIT, Columbia, Yale, Harvard, and she's picking and choosing where she wants to go.
My choices were really similar, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, but the reason she is our honorary Grand Marshal is she is the reigning Jeopardy Teen Tournament champion, and we'll talk about her when she gets here. Next up is
the Edison pageant royalty, is it not?
It is
the court.
The Royal Court of Edisonia. It is the mythical kingdom of Edisonia. There's the king and queen up on their throne, having a good time. That's awesome. Look at that. They had the ball a couple of weeks ago, the big pageantry. This is all part of the celebration of Thomas.
Well, and what makes it so cool is this is part of the tradition of this parade. And this is something that everyone remembers growing up in Fort Myers.
Not to interrupt, but this is the junior school. I did this last week. When we picked, there you go. There's Connor Gill waving at us, and it's always nice. Connor has been in every parade since he was born. His grandfather, Mike Gill, is like I said, without Mike Gill, we don't have this parade, and Connor is part of the court.
Well, and again, the family, the tradition of this parade, part of what makes it so cool.
Some of these folks are 7 generations old in this parade.
And they'll tell you stories about whose float won and what family didn't. And
you find an 80-year-old woman that used to be the queen of Edisonia, and she's still a queen.
She'll remind you.
Once you're a queen, you are always a queen.
I've never been a queen, sir. I wouldn't know.
You're my queen.
Well, thank you, Ted. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have got.
Where?
This is Florida Southwestern University.
It is. Oh, you can see it.
We want to make sure we get it right because on my list that's what it says. But in real life, it's Florida Southwestern State College.
They're cheering for the Bucks.
Go Bucks! Go Bucks!
I believe their basketball team has been on a bit of a run of late.
They are ranked #1 in the nation, and they've only been around for 3 years.
Certainly thought
Florida Southwestern State College.
Serving up a couple more. Serving up a couple more Budweisers.
The president of the board, and what he would probably prefer to be called, soon to be ex-president. That's Tracy and John McKee, toasting us with their cold Bud Lights.
And a lot of work, of course, from them has gone into this process.
John has been riding around. I think he took this job just to be on the scooter because he loves a scooter. Look at this. This is a very special gator right here. That is Father Hugh McGuigan and the good judge, the Honorable Zach Gill, that just rode by. And right behind, Zach was in this parade as a junior, like a little 6-year-old.
Again, I'll tell you, the traditions are so cool here.
Gina Sabiston, the Edison Pageant Festival. Great to see you, Gina. And next up is our one out-of-state band this year. They are from Eastside High School in Covington, Georgia. And I've got a little information on them that I want to share with you. The pride of Eastside Marching Band from Covington, Georgia. Their directors are Alan Fowler and Elijah Clark. The drum major is Duncan Jordan, and the band captain is Jonathan Sugg. They've traveled as far as Canada, Hawaii, and most recently to California to appear in the Hollywood Christmas Parade. The pride of Eastside, this is their 3rd time in the Edison Festival of Light.
Southwest Florida, their favorite spot to travel.
Off its most successful season in its 23-year history. They will play Power and All the Lights along with the rousing Eastside fight song. It is the Eastside High Marching Band from Covington, Georgia.
So glad to have them, and they're even, they've got the Edison shirts on.
I love that. I love that.
With Edison's face right there on the front.
Next up, speaking of Bishop Furrow, he is a proud graduate of Bishop Furrow High School, as well as a fellow Gator from the University of Florida. Say hello, if you will, to my friend Dane Eagle right there. Very good to see you.
Ted Fitzgeorge can spot a Gator from a mile away.
Now, of course, you see things are starting to get out of order. But next up is my friend Spencer Roach, who is our state representative. And Spencer, fairly newly elected, but doing a great job.
Absolutely.
It's awesome to see everybody. Next up is Sydney White Shirkus. These are the folks that keep the parade moving.
They push them right along. We know and this man, Lee County.
Well, it's hard to recognize this man because he's half the man he used to be.
He is Lee County Commissioner Brian Hammond.
Brian Hammond has lost so much weight in the last year. I am so very jealous. First pitch.
Hi, Brian.
Very soon. It's great to see you.
Oh,
Brian
he's up for a first pitch. Is that right?
Yes, he does. The whole county commission comes out.
I'll take this one, my very good friend, Sanibel Mayor Kevin Ruane and his wife Doreen. So glad to have him. This is the first time that they've been in the parade.
He's got to look the other way, though.
I know.
He's got. And right behind, Mayor Joe and I have raised a lot of money for a lot of great causes. He better not go by and miss us, but he may miss. You know what happens is they see the camera. They see the camera and they ignore us. It's terrible. It is.
Mayor Coviello representing Cape Coral right here.
Look at that.
Oh, and here we are from Fort Myers Beach, Mayor Tracy Gore.
Mayor Tracy.
I've had the opportunity to spend some time with the mayor on Fort Myers Beach and her husband. And here we are, another one, Peter Simmons from Bonita Springs.
The Edison Festival of Light is a nonprofit organization designed to produce the 10-day festival. All events are free, and there's a great community impact for youth, science and technology, safety, history, and arts and culture. We could not do this without the generous support of the community. To find out more about our community impact and to financially support the festival, visit our website at www.edisonfestival.org. Festival merchandise is available at our website, edisonfestival.org. To obtain a copy of the Junior Parade or Grand Parade, visit our website to purchase your copy today.
Such a cool thing to see, and I couldn't be happier to have a front row seat right here with you.
You know,
Mr.
I say all the time, as much as I enjoy, well, anybody that knows me, if there's a microphone, I'm your guy. One of these years, I'm going to ride in this parade. I want to ride through the streets of Fort Myers and see all my friends.
We'll get you a satellite truck, Ted.
Right?
We can get you a wireless microphone, and we can get you on this route.
I need an agent. You're hired. You're hired. Once again, we want to thank our friends from FSW for live streaming us tonight, making us look good, sound good, we hope. It's the first time we've taken a shot at this where people can hear us around the world, and we think it's going to be a great marriage. And we're looking forward
I think it's great
that
every year. People around the world have the opportunity to see something right here in Southwest Florida. It's one of our favorite events.
A way to make it go viral. You're young, you can figure that out. Next up, Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce. And again, always happy. We actually, as a board, we now share space inside the Chamber of Commerce building in Fort Myers, and that's where we have our meetings once a month.
Some of our favorite cars right here on the way.
Well, we talked earlier about Sam Galloway, and this is Sam Jr. coming up, and his son Robert will be behind him. And as always, we think Sam gets to drive this car. Look at that. Sam has been around for a long, long time. It's been great. Robert Galloway behind him in the next car.
We're so glad to have them as sponsors, to always be a part of this parade.
Robert, good to see you.
He's driving, Ted.
It's okay. He's got one hand on the wheel at all times. Next up, another cart that keeps the parade moving, and then Sunshine Elementary, where bright futures begin. That's easy for me to say.
It
But
is.
this is what we like. These are the folks. They were in the junior parade last Sunday. You'll see some of the floats a bit later on. The winning floats from the junior parade get to ride in our parade here this evening, the grand parade.
Ted's got it.
Yeah!
Their
I like
shoes
it.
light up.
Red hot.
Always like as the music comes along.
You gotta like they know right where the lights and the cameras are. And
That's where they stop.
they dance to Michael Jackson. And let's face it, none of these girls were around when Michael Jackson was making music.
No, they weren't, but they could appreciate a good song when they hear one.
That makes me feel really old. That makes me feel really old.
And they have a dance to it, Ted, so what's it matter? I'm just so impressed by their shoes, to be honest with you.
Again, we are in downtown Fort Myers, the historic River District. We are situated at the corner of Broadway and Main. I believe we're on the northeast corner, but I am no Rand McNally. Ted Fitzgeorge of the Edison Festival of Light, along with the lovely Jacqueline Beavis of NBC2. Sparkle Sunshine, it is the Sparkle Elite All-Stars. They are dressed up in costume and ready to perform for 200,000 people along the parade route here in downtown Fort Myers.
And they're 2 miles in, or almost.
They've got a show. They're ready to go. 130 units in this parade altogether with countless numbers of people and animals. We've still got miniature horses to come and floats.
Pretty impressive young women there.
Yep. I was wondering if she was going to pick up that baton. I was going to go get it for you and have you do that. Yeah.
You know what? Those ladies are much better at that than I am.
That is the Sunshine Elementary School Cheer and Sparkle Elite, and they are followed up by the Florida Power and Light 1975 flatbed truck. Looks older than that. Maybe
Still
the next
runs.
truck. The next truck maybe a 1975 unit. But this is an FP&L. FP&L, of course, one of our title sponsors. And here comes the boom truck right behind them.
And in fairness, they probably didn't need to put a lot of lights on since
So
they are Florida Power and Light, but they, of course, have decked themselves out.
And this is the hybrid bucket truck. That previous truck was from 1925. I knew it looked older than 1975. This is a biodiesel vehicle.
I got a TV on the side of that.
As you said, well lit. And they are followed, of course, well, it says Island Coast High School, but I'm not sure that that's what it is. So we'll wait until it gets in front of us.
Oh, no, they've got a float as well. Ted, that is more
FPL,
of our FPL friends.
It's still Florida Power and Light.
Of course, a lot of the floats putting palm trees, of course, as a center point as we represent Southwest Florida.
Coming down Main Street, again, we've changed the route. The route normally runs down Monroe to Edwards and then down the length of Edwards Drive alongside the river. But tonight we are coming down Main Street to Henry, Henry over to Edwards, 1 block over to Jackson, and then Jackson up to the City of Palms Park, where the Boston Red Sox used to train before they built JetBlue Park 8 years ago. This is the Island Coast High School band, the Gators. So, you know.
Your favorite.
Kind of fun. Kind of fun. We'll sit back, we'll let you listen to the Island Coast High School band.
Not only are those bands unbelievably impressive, but they're also, if you think about it, an hour and a half in, they have been walking and playing and walking and marching, I suppose, as well. Marching.
Remember, I promised you some miniature
horses. You have been promising me miniature horses for the whole
day. Here
day.
come Bertrand's miniature horses, horses and wagons. And more of our parade guides that keep everybody moving. But there you go. All the kids love the baby horses. Look at this.
I love the baby horses.
In order to be considered a miniature horse, you have to be less than 3 feet tall. So these horses are all less than 3 feet tall.
Those are really miniature, and there's a dog in the back of that one, not a horse. And look at these.
We are very happy to have. Now, unfortunately, this year the Budweiser Clydesdales were unavailable.
Oh, well, lost a horse. Does it just walk on its own?
That's not a horse.
That's a donkey.
That's a Democrat.
That's what. See, it just walks on its own.
That's not a horse, that's a Democrat. But anyway.
It looked different than the others.
Normally what we have, and the Budweiser Clydesdales were not available this year, unfortunately, but we have the Clydesdales, and right behind them we have Bertrand's miniature horses. And the dichotomy is unbelievable. Because those Clydesdales are magnificent beasts, which was my nickname in college.
Magnificent beasts?
Yes.
Or Clydesdale?
And yes.
The North Fort Myers Academy of the Arts. I'm going to move right along. It has been a lovely evening.
Fortunately, she's not on camera, but she's blushing. So.
It has been a lovely evening down here in downtown Fort Myers.
This is one of our floats, Drifting Through Edisonia, sponsored by Lee Dental Care. Now, these folks, they work on their float for months and months at a time.
Phoenix Custom Build Solutions.
This was also in our junior parade last week. Senior nights.
There's the North Fort Myers Academy for the Arts.
Right.
I believe they go by the Steel.
It is. And next up is from Lee Dental Care. This is a private business here at Fort Myers.
They are trying to win first place, I can tell you that.
Look at the work they've done on this float. This is an amazing float for a small dental practice here in Southwest Florida, and everybody having a great time.
Again, something like this is
the camera. I love the bubbles. You gotta love the bubbles. That's great.
That is one drifting through Edisonia. Such a cool.
Next up is Miss Florida Citrus, Megan Price, and following Megan. Oh, your truck is coming up shortly.
They are. They certainly are. The Florida Watermelon Queen is first, though, of course.
2018 Queen. Got that Queen wave down. There you go. That's what we like to see. I'll let you take this one because this is your crew.
These are my friends and family at NBC2 with the First Alert Storm Tracker. There's Jason Dunning.
You gotta love the Brockabrella. That's
Elizabeth
awesome.
Isley, all of our friends. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Larry. I have a decoration. Paul Tanner driving, Lisa Spooner.
Lisa, thank you for the text. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, we're on TV.
I still look fat. Where's the camera? There it is. You gotta find the camera.
There's Simon Schumann, Zoomin' Schumann, we call him. These are all of my friends at NBC2. Joining us here tonight with the First Alert Storm Tracker, Clay Miller.
Clay Miller. What's happening, brother?
Pleasure
Every morning on
sir.
NBC2. You can't miss them. That's it. That's it. Beautiful. Thank you, Clay.
All of the support. And there's Allison Ray and a dog as well.
And Allison, I'll tell you a story about that dog in just a bit.
Perfect.
Because right now I need to introduce this next contestant. She is Claire Sattler. She is the reigning, defending champion of the Jeopardy Teen Tournament and a Bishop Verot Viking non-actionette. Yeah.
The honorary Grand Marshal.
Anyway, you mentioned Allison Ray, who is, of course, your
meteorologist in the evenings.
That dog that she had with her is a rescue dog. She went up to, that is Mike Gill. I've got to tell you about Mike Gill and his beautiful wife, Pat. Without Mike, there is no parade. But Allison went up after the hurricane last year and found that dog.
And brought
the dog back to Fort Myers, and now that dog is apparently a mascot for NBC2.
That dog is part of
Matt Johnson. It's always nice to see Matt. He's got a brand new, my goodness, Shelby. They're hitting us with everything as they go by.
The Imaginarium History and Science Center.
It is called IMAG now, and they have merged with, look at that. That's awesome. It's great to see everybody. Look at this.
Oh, thank you.
They brought us food.
We got Airheads, snacks for later.
You got to get more of these people to come by and bring us things to eat. Next up, Lehigh Senior High School, the Golden Band. They are the Lehigh Lightning as they go by and entertain the crowd. IMAG recently merged with the Florida Historical Society, and if you have not been to the Imaginarium, which is now called IMAG, not too far from us, it's just several blocks to the east and a bit to the south. Treat yourself. There are some amazing things going on at IMAG.
And they've brought in some awesome experiences right here in Southwest Florida.
And you see it in the background.
I'm kind of excited about it.
This is always a crowd favorite. This is from LCEC, the Lee County Electric Co-op. People own their own electric here. If you get your electric from the Lee County Electric Co-op, it is exactly that, a co-op. And you get a check, a dividend check every year.
And you also get this view.
And you get this balloon every year, and everybody loves the balloon.
Absolutely.
We wish we had more of these. We wish we had more companies that would invest, because people remember this when it goes by.
It is, and like you said, it's always a fan favorite.
And these are all LCEC employees.
Their
Their
shirts.
Time. And you know what? I've got to get up and see if I can snag a little wave and a kiss from Karen Ryan.
I am an idea generator. That's what their shirts
That's what
say.
I like to see.
There they are. So glad to have them be part of this. And here they are, not just with that
Karen Ryan
balloon.
from LCEC, a longtime board member for the Edison Festival of Light.
Unbelievably involved.
Karen is still involved. And here is the big old LCEC truck, bucket truck. We can't get them to put the bucket up because you'd never get onto the bridge. But look at the size of that truck as it goes by.
And in fairness, we all know way too well the importance of those bucket trucks from the hurricanes of the last couple of years here in Florida, and you couldn't be more grateful.
How lit up they are as we wait for the next float to arrive. Again, my name is Ted Fitzgeorge, the Edison Festival of Light Board of Directors, and I am joined by Jacqueline Beavis of NBC2 as we celebrate Thomas Edison for the 81st year in a row. So we are so happy to be a part of it. 81st Annual Edison Festival of Light here in Southwest Florida. If you have not been here for it, you need to get down here and check it out. Trolling through Edisonia is
what a perfect name.
The next, and look at the trolls, and look at the hair. You remember, did you have troll dolls when you were little?
I did not.
We used to call them damn it dolls. They
were
the
how
little,
small
yeah,
they
look
are.
at that. Just look at that. Just sucking on her finger and having a good time. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
So
they were in
great
the
to
junior
have them.
parade. They were in the junior parade last week. Next up, these are the butt strut winners. Great to see. Look, they're keeping the parade moving. We like that. Now this is, I told you about this one.
Yes, the Mexican folklore team.
Mexican folklore, Mayan, and traditional dances. They have 170 participants, 170 participants.
Look at these costumes.
They come from LaBelle, Naples, Lehigh, and Fort Myers, and there is nothing closer to the heart of Mexico than the Virgin of Guadalupe, a continuation of Mexican tradition dating back centuries. They dance as an act of devotion to a spiritual mother, and this is going to be fun to watch. Look at this.
Check
Group
these
coordinators
guys
are
out.
Maria Cothran, Benjamin Rodriguez, Christian Rodriguez, and Miata Sikaha.
Those costumes. So great to have them join
Still
us.
coming. There's 170 members in this
Oh
group.
my gosh.
So when I talk about, 130 units in the parade, this one unit has 170 people. So we're looking at a 2-hour parade. It is the largest nighttime parade in the southeastern United States. These guys have a routine down. Look at this. This
The
is
longest
unbelievable.
running in
That's
Southwest
awesome.
Florida.
Very
It's
nice.
so cool to see these
Very
guys.
nice. Mexican folklore, Mayan, and traditional dances. And here comes the next group. They almost look like mummers. Have you ever seen? Not mummer. That's completely different.
Yeah.
But the Mummers Day Parade in Philadelphia is spectacular, and they have a lot of the same peacock feather type things going on.
Well, and just the amount of effort that goes into learning these dances and being part of a parade like this. So glad to have them as part of it, and all of the intricacies of these costumes.
Nice.
Oh, and some of the kids coming up here too. Look how young they are.
We have not gotten to the Shrinership, but this is a very large group.
Oh my gosh.
This is the first time that I know of, at least, that we have had these folks in the parade, and we're thrilled to have them. We hope they'll come back. They seem to be very excited, and we love that they share their culture and what they bring to us from other countries.
Ted, and there are more of them. This group is so large.
True.
You really mentioned that.
Still coming, and look at the costumes.
That's what I can't get over.
Native costumes are just unbelievable.
And that decked out float, that's the lights that Ted promised. You got to promise lights to be in the parade.
Deck out the golf cart. See the sign for the Mayan culture. Of course, weren't the Mayans the ones that told us that the world was going to end in 2012?
And they're still celebrating today.
I'm very glad they were wrong.
We are still celebrating today.
I am very glad they were wrong. I was a little nervous in 2011.
And we made it through, Ted. Somehow, some way.
Now, according to my list, and they're a little bit behind, so this float, we'll have to see where the float is from. It's the Rainbow Bridge Animal Rescue. So, you know, those are the must-run winners.
Look at those.
And on the float, of course, is Holly Marth. Holly is another board member who does a wonderful job as the chairman or chairperson of our Mud Strut committee. She puts on the Mud Strut the day before the junior parade. That was last Saturday, the Mud Strut, along with our craft beer festival.
Again, a 2-week festival.
Food truck rally.
Goes on and on and on.
People say, well, what does Ted do? Ted does everything. The
Ted
Silver
does
Magic
this.
Marching Band from Cape Coral High School. This is the Mariner High School in Cape Coral, Florida, is what I meant to say.
Wonderful to have the Mariner High School band right behind them, the Bank of America team. One thing this festival is always fun for is an opportunity for people who work in a company like this to get together and have a nice evening out and celebrate with the community that they live and work in. Full families here. Oh, is it me? Oh, it's me. Thank you so much.
Coming up behind them, and you've had them, you featured them. Actually, you featured them. So
I
will let you talk about what you learned. This is the German American Club, and tell me what they're celebrating.
No, not this one.
No?
We're going to come up
it's
on
not.
that.
It's coming up. Oh, it must be one behind. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll get to that one.
I'm looking. The Bank of America must also have a float then. That's what it is.
Which is impressive.
This is the Bank of America float. So not only the folks marching ahead of it, but here comes the float behind them.
Decked out in red, white, and blue. Ooh, some glitz, some glamour.
You can see how they enjoy walking down the street and seeing their friends and neighbors as they watch the parade. And now you could talk about, you featured them on one of your newscasts this weekend.
I did. I had the opportunity to have a first look at the German American Social Club's major float. They are hoping to win first prize.
I have to tell you, that was a great piece. The story you did, I want you to tell me about the gentleman that you talked to.
Oh my gosh, Stefan, who is on the float
now. It was him
now.
and 2 other people that built the float.
Oh my gosh, he came up with this idea more than a year ago. This is to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. You can see them here. There is my friend Stefan. There's a rocket, the intricacies of these floats, Ted. I didn't appreciate it until I saw it. There's Stefan there.
Stefan was a great interview, I have to tell you. He was a great interview.
Wonderful, wonderful guy there, and such a cool float.
Your piece was great because you talked about the security in the parade, and as you talked about the security, they showed the rocket. So it looked like the Fort Myers Police Department had brought a rocket in to help
you know what?
secure.
The Fort Myers Police Department will do whatever it takes to make sure we're safe here. Towboat USA going by now.
Towboat US.
US, rather. And of course, boats are our primary get around.
They get a lot of business sometimes down here because there are a lot of people out on the water that don't really know what they're doing.
That would be me. Oh, and I have another.
More
thank you
beads.
so much.
More beads.
Everyone gives me beads, and
No,
not you,
I
Ted.
got it. I got it.
There, you got some too. Hey.
This is a great float. This is a great float. The crew of Hernando de Soto, I bet you they were in a parade up in Tampa not too long ago.
They probably were. And I have to go back to the German American Club. What I thought was so cool, one of the reasons they did that is one of the individuals who built that rocket was from Germany. And so they brought all of that in. They made it all part of the history of this. And they made that, I mean, that float was just so cool.
Coming into view, the Golisano Children's Hospital of Southwest Florida, which has been a major addition to Southwest Florida. Before Golisano came along and the Golisano family and what they've contributed to this community, if you had an emergency, if you had something severely wrong with your child, you had to either go 2 hours north to Tampa or 2 hours over to Miami. And now you don't have to do that. Now we've got the Children's Hospital and NICU unit and everything that they've got.
They do an amazing job over there. And
anytime
so innovative.
I get a chance to help raise money or to donate money or whatever we're able to do, we help them out. Neonatal and pediatric ambulance going by now. They are just spectacular, and they are always very good friends of the festival and proud to be here and be a part of it.
And so many great stories from there of children who have been saved, who have been helped, who have been supported by that community.
Some more of our other sponsors, of course, the Florida Festival and Events Association, Fort Myers Track Club, who sponsor the 5K run and the
Ted did not run, don't worry.
The Southwest Florida Community Foundation, Morgan & Morgan for the people.com. B&I, established in now my eyes are deceiving me, 1980, but they've been around a long time.
I don't know how you can see that
far. The festival. Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce, the Foundation for Lee County Public Schools, who run this fantastic program every year.
That was some
and
of the
Capo Felice, which is a new development down here in the River District. Look at this beautiful yellow gown coming down.
Belle. Was that Belle? No. That is an impressive float.
It's a beautiful float. It truly is.
Nonetheless.
I don't have it on my list. I don't get
the
five.
Bayshore,
she went right by without giving me five. That's it.
Alongside this amazing float.
The Bayshore Cloggers were one of our winners last week in the junior parade.
And you see why now.
I always said, I don't know if you'll see it because the camera's on the other side of the float, but on this side of the float, they are carrying the trophy from last week's parade. And I always say, you'll see there are maybe 6 boys on that float and 30 girls. They are the 6 smartest boys in Bayshore Elementary School, without a doubt.
Well, they've already learned. They have already learned. It looks like we have some Boy Scouts of America coming up the Cub Scout Pack 117 in a 1948 one-ton truck behind them there. Of course, a lot of fun for our local Boy Scouts having the opportunity to walk in this major parade. And I believe one of them in the back of that truck doing, I don't know, famous dance moves of late. Is that the dab?
The dab?
Is that what people call that?
That's
you know better than I do,
Some people
Ted.
would, yes. Next up, our Grand Marshal, of course, a graduate, a proud graduate of North Fort Myers High School. That's our friend Tommy. He is a Red Knight and a Wake Forest Demon Deacon, and now a proud member of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is his high school, the Red Knight Marching Band from North Fort Myers High School.
And of course, the Tommy Bohannon Foundation doing a lot of work still locally in our community.
And if you get a chance to check it out, it is Tommy Foundation or TommyBohannonFoundation.org. So please go to it and check out all the great things that Tommy and his wife Katie are doing.
Right here in Southwest Florida. It's great to have people from Southwest Florida who are coming right back home and giving back to this community. I know the football program and the sports programs there at North Fort Myers High School really appreciate the work. And look at this dedication. Somebody with a
He's got a walking boot on with a Red Knight logo.
Oh, there you go. Not giving up.
He's representing, there's no doubt. Where would high school bands be without Louie Louie? I thank God every night when I hit my knees for the Kingsmen, who recorded Louie Louie back in the late 50s, early 60s, and every high school band in the country performs Louie Louie.
Don't mind if I do. In case you missed it, Ted knew all of the dance moves.
Gotta like the performance. They know where the lights and the cameras are. They bring us the action.
Wonderful to have the Red Knights here tonight with us.
They bring their own help trucks just in case something should happen. Somebody should break down, a tuba should blow a flat, whatever.
Tuba should blow a flat. There's some water back there too, just in case.
You're gonna like this one.
A truck
Just
like this.
one day ahead, watch behind the truck, one day ahead of the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl of NASCAR, we have the famous number 24 of Jeff Gordon, the Chevrolet of Jeff Gordon in the parade tonight, and it's coming into view right now.
There
the NASCAR
it
tribute
is.
car, it is the Chevy Impala of Jeff Gordon, number 24, retired and now on the air on a regular basis talking about it.
Look at that car. A great opportunity for me to say hello to my brother, who is in Daytona now for that race.
Is he in Daytona now?
He is for that
Awesome.
race.
Has
He's
he
actually,
been
he's
before,
working,
or- oh,
but,
he's working, okay.
oh my gosh.
Ah,
Handstand on what's that thing called?
hoverboard?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm
Hovercraft.
waiting for it to blow up. Didn't some of them explode?
Yeah, there was an
Yeah.
issue. The Salvation Army joining us today with some impressive techniques as they walk down this 2-mile stretch of the Edison Festival of Light Parade. Not everyone has to walk the parade, of course. Some people get to
Are
ride.
lucky enough to ride. Some are lucky enough to sit and watch it go by. That would be us.
And that's you and I, sir. I can't thank you enough for the opportunity to get a front row seat to one of Southwest Florida's favorite events.
So I understand my nephew's twins have gone to bed, but when they wake up and watch this parade in the morning, I want to make sure they know that their crazy Uncle Ted mentioned Braden and Caitlin and that he loves them very much and can't wait to see them soon.
And we're so glad that they get to watch.
And a reminder, of course, that we live very close to Disney World, Mickey and Minnie's hometown, so please come down and visit, and we'll see that you get to meet Mickey and Minnie up close and personal. So,
Here are our friends from the Canterbury School.
Canterbury, a great private school here in town, from pre-K right on up to 12th grade.
There's a cougar there on the back.
Send a lot of students off to Ivy League schools and the top schools in the country.
The back of their float says full steam ahead. Makes
There you
sense.
go. Next up, the float from Crowther Roofing.
Sing the song, Ted.
They've also done a lot of hard work during and after the recent hurricanes that we've had.
Oh,
here in Fort
absolutely.
Myers. That's great to see you.
Crowther
Thank you.
Residential and
That's Lee
I
Crowther
can't
and
see
his
the song.
family. That's a great family. Oh, look at this. You gotta love when they bring you something. That's awesome.
Oh.
Thank you.
Pretty cool float here. Here's the Moorhaven Middle High School Band.
I've got a little story about Moorhaven as well. Moorhaven High School in Glades County, Florida, which is a bit to the east, actually about halfway across the state. The Terrier Marching Band from Moorhaven Middle and High School, grades 6 through 12. They're all marching. It's their third year participating in the parade. Their history of marching in the parade started in the early 80s when Ernest Browning was the band director at Moorhaven. His son is now the band director at Moorhaven High School. So he is carrying on not just the Moorhaven tradition, but a family tradition.
But his
of
own
bringing
father's.
The band to the parade.
And it's, of course, great to have them here.
And we thank the Brownings for that. We thank Moorhaven Junior and Senior High School.
This is the Adrenaline USA volleyball team. They're equipped with very large beach-style volleyballs, as you only
they-
would bring to
are they-
Southwest Florida.
Are they beach-style volleyballs?
All right,
or
I don't
are they
know.
Valley-style beach ball.
Oh, gosh, you're
It's very confusing,
right.
but we may get it.
Whoa!
Oh!
I don't know if I was trying or just protecting the television, but we made it. I'm sure they've had a lot of fun, and they've probably gotten quite a good workout in along this route. It's great to have them join us today.
Next up is a float by the Oasis Charter School Junior ROTC.
These volleyballs just keep going and going and going and going.
Volleyballs, but they've got this float. This is their float going by now.
With equipped with a volleyball net as well. And some of Southwest Florida's favorites, the Calendar Girls.
I love these girls. We normally have them at our parade party and also at our Day of Discovery. We've had to change that event up a little bit this year.
We're getting it back. We're getting it back soon.
But they'll be back, but they will not pass up an opportunity to ride in the parade.
Of course.
I love when they make it. It's just fabulous. I have missed you all week. It's great to see you.
They have a lot of fun. They do.
Cause for Patriots, and they raise a lot of money for a great cause. It's always great to see the Calendar.
And they are involved in so much here in Southwest Florida.
Next up, Pepsi has their own wagon, and they have told me that they are doing this year in hopes of other local businesses coming up with their. Is that Ray?
Oh, we're good.
As
Thank
promised.
you so much.
Thank you.
They're handing out Aquafina water, of course, which we appreciate.
That's Ray from Pepsi, who's driving the truck that's pulling the wagon.
There's probably not a lot of people that get water along this route, so
Anyway,
everyone takes the water they can.
The Pepsi folks are hoping that they start a trend for more local businesses to take the time to build a float and be a part of our junior and our senior parade.
And you've seen some of the best of Southwest Florida floats, and that is one of the coolest traditions down here as part of this.
Check out this outfit. He's lit up.
This will be Ted in the future.
Music by Sean. I'm guessing that's Sean.
It's a couple records, cause I'm playing all day. But I am what I am, and I'm gonna keep
I'll give it to him. Music by Sean.
I've got a feeling we're about to be back on camera, so I'm going to tell you who we are. My name is Ted Fitzgeorge from the Edison Festival of Light Board of Directors, sitting alongside the beautiful Jacqueline Beavis of NBC2. We are celebrating the 81st annual Edison Festival of Light. Proud to be a part of Fort Myers' oldest, longest running, and biggest festival. It has just been a spectacular couple of weeks. It's not over after tonight. We've got a classic car show down here tomorrow. What we normally call Crafts on the River, we've had to move it over here to Main and Broadway.
It's been busy, though.
A lot of great crafting tents over there. They'll be there again all day tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's warming up. It's not going to be 81 like it was today. It's going to climb to 83. And did I mention it is February 16th, tomorrow, February 17th. And we have temperatures in the low to mid 80s.
If you're watching from anywhere else in the country, you are welcome to come visit us.
Next up, my sister Alexandria's alma mater. She went to Riverdale High School. This is the Raider Band from Riverdale High School. I wonder if they tell them, don't smile. Whatever you do, don't smile. Carry the banner.
Yeah. The banner carriers are always the non-smilers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? If I had to do this, I would be a banner carrier because I can't actually even clap to a beat.
Look
so
at these fancy outfits that they've got. This is great.
I can get you one, Ted.
They're almost, I've got 3 of them. I keep outgrowing them.
A lot of hard work from our local high schools goes into these bands and these performances. And like Ted said earlier, this is not band season, so we appreciate them getting together and putting on a show. The JROTC from Riverdale High School as well alongside the band. A great program here in Southwest Florida, and Riverdale known for their extra efforts there.
We understand towards the end we got a very late push from a lot of the ROTC groups around town, the junior ROTCs from the high schools, and we've got a large contingent on hand. There's still a lot more to come. We're a couple of hours in, I guess, by now, right? It's been going on we probably started at 7:30, so we're an hour and a half in. So we're looking at a good 2-hour parade this year, which is...
That's why we call it one of the longest.
It is the largest nighttime parade in the southeastern United States. Up on
129?
This is Bishop Verot on a Galloway Ford float. The principal of Bishop Verot, the good doctor, Dr. Denny Dennison. It's always nice to see Vikings in the house. Non-exodus, baby, non-exodus. That's it.
Of course, another Sam Galloway float, another major sponsor of ours out here tonight. They've had a lot of vehicles in here, but they also bring a nice float.
Next up, several representatives of the American Red Cross who do such great work throughout the country, disaster reliefs, and Lord knows we've had plenty of those between hurricanes and fires that have burnt down states and floods and tsunamis and whatever it is. And they drop whatever they're doing and head out to help.
They do, and we couldn't be more grateful for them right here in Southwest Florida. And they always come out to events like this and join us. Oh,
and they bring
they
clowns
floss.
and bears.
That I think that bear flossed.
That was a floss. They're
Is that?
flossing.
Oh, okay.
That's it. You are hipper than you let on.
Oh.
You are hipper than you let on.
I actually can floss,
I want to
Chad.
watch you floss later
I
tonight.
don't know if you know that or not.
Waxed or unwaxed?
I don't even know what that means. The American Red Cross, take a look at their float, and it's equipped with a bubble maker.
I am especially fond of all of the bubble makers that I see on these floats because bubbles are cool. You can't watch bubbles and not smile. And actually, I had a friend who used to dance, and her name was Bubbles.
Build me up, buttercup, baby, just to let me down.
Okay, that'll cut us off real quick. Fighting the Bite with Edison's Light. This is a tribute to Edison from the Mosquito Control District. You gotta like that, Fighting the Bite.
I like it, I like it. The Mosquito Control District is, oh my gosh, look at that.
Excuse me.
Look at this
That's a great mosquito
bug.
right there. Wow.
I lost the word.
Tarantula style. Pardon my sneeze there.
The Mosquito Control District
I have no way to cut my mic.
doing they do a lot of work here in Southwest Florida.
The Mosquito Control District also brought their helicopter in for our Day of Discovery event last week, or 2 weeks ago now. It is so hard to keep track of the days.
Yeah.
We have so many things that go
Again,
on
Ted's involved in every single facet of this festival that just goes on forever.
Now that I think about it, it was last Saturday because I started there, then came down here for the Mud Strut and the beer festival and the food truck rally. And then on Sunday was all of the junior events. So
Mario, Luigi, and
great.
the Littleton Elementary.
They are cloggers. It's another group. You'll see 4 or 5 boys
gosh,
and
look
all
at this.
girls. This is another one of our float winners.
Classic Nintendo.
From last weekend. It's great. Did you ever play?
Yes, I did.
Play Mario Brothers?
That was my
in a
original.
bar? Tell the truth.
No, in real life, as a child.
In real life. It was a real life video game. Okay. All right. Whatever you say. You know, video games are not real life. You do understand that, right? That's.
I'm not quite that millennial, but I'm super close, Ted. Super
All right.
close.
Next up is All Care National.
They have a rotating heart on there. Things like that are so hard to do that people don't understand on floats like that.
They have a middle name, and their middle name is Care. That's great.
Our middle name is
Thank you for being a part
Care.
of the festival.
It's nice to see too, you know, you see whole families on there, a lot of the kids getting the opportunity to walk in a parade that means so much to this community. It's been around so long. They make it a tradition every year for their family and their businesses to be part of this.
Coming into view, the Lady Friend Alzheimer's Support Fund. You recognize the purple.
I do.
And wait till you see this great car on the back of the float.
What kind of car is that?
Now.
What do you got for me,
Ted?
Ted?
It gets closer. It's not a Sam Galloway car, which is unusual. Most of our cars are courtesy of Sam Galloway. Is that a Fiat? That may be a Fiat. I don't know, but I would drive it.
I don't know if they're offering it to you this weekend. Alzheimer's awareness.
That is a great car, and my father unfortunately suffered from Alzheimer's before he passed away. It is a terrible disease, and
it looks like they're walking in memory of Lady Friend Joan Summers.
and lady friends, special friends, and donors as the van goes by. So if you get a chance, help them out. We're proud to have them be a part of our festival and our parade this year.
Touches so many people's lives here in Southwest Florida and all over the world. Yours, mine, and we're glad that they're here and a part of it. And another band coming up from right down the road, really, the South Fort Myers High School.
The Wolfpack Band, directed by
Wolfpack.
Stacy Hatmaker, accompanied by the varsity cheerleaders and their coach, Monique Robertson. Ruler of the Kingdom, Edward Matthews.
That's quite a title.
Do you have your own Wolfpack? You had a party earlier today, right?
Can't even answer that.
Was it like a Wolfpack?
That was a baby shower.
Yeah, well, I've seen some of those baby showers.
It's just like a wolf pack.
A female Wolfpack, that's what it was. I saw the movie.
Oh. I believe this is one of your favorites coming up.
Oh, you
Ted.
gotta love this. This will take a while.
It will, and that's one of our favorite parts.
In years past, this parade started in downtown Fort Myers and finished at Fort Myers High School. And I used to announce the stadium show. We had a band. We had Chubby Checker there one year. We had Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Gary Puckett in the Union Gap. Lots of old 60s music stuff. And I would run back and forth on the football field all night. I couldn't move the next morning. When the Shriners came, that was my cue to leave the field for a short time because there were so many of them. And
That you could take a break.
well, you know what kind of break I had to take. and I did, and it was beautiful. But I love this part of the parade. Where do you see it? You'll see the Flintstone cars, and you'll see these guys do great work, the burn units and the things they do for the kids, and the Grand Poobahs, and the Chief Raban, and everything else that goes in with it. It's they really would like to recruit younger people to get into the Shriners. If you look, a lot of them are previous generations. They're older folks,
They
older
are.
fellas, but they do such great work, and they're always on the lookout for young blood. So if you're out there and you're younger and you're looking for a way to give back to the community, shrinershospitals.org is the place to go. Check it out and become a part of something very special. Something tells me that the Shriners are not done yet.
You know, they typically
Something
aren't.
tells me that we're going to see
They
some more
always-
of the Shriners.
They always appear in long form.
I see Kid
Take a look at
Famerati
this
here.
decked out
Kid
car.
Famerati is here from the News Press covering things. He does
Yes.
a great job of covering the festival. You'll see great pictures at newspress.com. The News Press also a great supporter of the Edison Festival. We thank them for everything they do. Kim Fay and Michael Braun and the great stories that we get. Charles Runnels.
And the photographers out here are always
oh.
phenomenal. They've been in the middle of the
Right. It
of
just-
the runway the whole
Just
time.
fabulous. All of the media, your station and CDS, Wink TV, Fox was down covering things this week and last week.
It's a great
Your
opportunity
sister
for us to
station
be
at
part.
ABC7. We thank
absolutely.
Waterman Broadcasting for everything that they do. And what is a parade without a clown and a little car? This is why I want to ride in the parade.
We can get you a little car.
Get my nose red and put me in a little car. I'm ready to go. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. This is awesome. That's great.
They have, they certainly do take up their spot in a parade like this, and we're always so happy to have them. This one decked out an American flag as well, coming down. Oh, speeding up. There we go.
That's awesome. I want one of those.
Happy New Year.
Some more of our parade marshals, keeping everybody moving. Some of our young board members. We have
Which are always
replenished
good to
our
have.
board with younger. Here come the Araba. Is it Araba or Araba? What do you say? These are the shrine
The
clowns.
Arab, I
Shrine- We'll
believe.
just go with Shriners.
They are the
Oh,
Shriners,
Araba
as
Shriner
you know them
clowns.
at home,
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
with
Look at
another
that.
wonderfully lit float. And again, it wouldn't be Southwest Florida if we didn't put a
Look at this
boat on a
beautiful old
float or a
Cadillac convertible coming by too. That looks to be about a 1972 or 73. I used to have a 73 Eldorado convertible back when nobody had convertibles. It was a lot
before
of fun.
convertibles were cool,
Yeah,
Ted.
before they, because there was a long stretch where nobody made convertibles.
Check out the Flintstones.
This is one of my favorite parts, the Flintstone cars. Beating it with the clubs, that's very nice. We could get 2 of these and just tool around town.
Of course, of course. I bet they just sell them.
And where do you go to school if you're a Flintstone? You go to Bedrock, and here comes the Bedrock Schools bus.
Why, of course.
And I see Fred.
I was gonna say,
I
look
see
who's
Fred
in the front
other
seat.
window. Fred's waving at the camera as he goes by. Here he is in the doorway.
There he is. Oh,
There
he's
you
getting
go.
shot.
Voila! Where did Fred work? Do you remember? I know his boss was Mr. Slate.
At the rock quarry.
Yeah, he worked at the quarry, and his boss was Mr. Slate. Here come the K-Cops. They've got some people on ice. I'll be willing to bet you as they come by.
Check out those hats. That old-fashioned siren sound that we haven't heard in a long time. There you go.
An auga. You gotta like the auga.
Classic paddy wagon that I like to avoid.
And tell me these guys aren't having fun. You know? They're loving blowing the horn, driving the little buggies, waving at the kids. The kids love them. They love the kids.
And again, of course, these gentlemen doing a lot more than just parade walking here in Southwest Florida, and we do appreciate it. I think it's cool too, Ted. You've seen a lot of the people who walk by
AJ
us.
Thier going by in the golf cart.
You see a lot of people who walk by us, the Fort Myers Police Department just to our left. A lot of them saying thank you.
And AJ, who just rode by in the golf cart, is a Lee County Sheriff and
Okay.
out of uniform and working as a board member tonight because AJ and his mom, Sharon, both board members. Again, he marched in the junior parade. He was on a court. And he still gives back. So we appreciate everything that they do. We've got a little bit of a break in the action, a chance for me to once again introduce my partner, Jacqueline Beavis from NBC2. My name is Ted Fitzgeorge. I am the voice of the Boston Red Sox.
You
for spring
certainly
training.
are.
They will be here on Friday. We're looking forward to it. We play Northeastern, and then the Yankees come to town on Saturday as we kick off a month of spring training games with the world champion Boston Red Sox. Looking forward to a World Series ring.
We are excited
Yes.
to have spring training starting again. Of course, catchers and pitchers reported what this past week everyone had been
February
counting down.
13th.
Everyone
and
had been counting down the days.
the Minnesota Twins also train here in Fort Myers, and just up the road in Charlotte County, of course, we've got the Tampa Bay Rays, the Tampa Rays. Judge Rob Branning in the buggy as he goes by. We're still on camera, but we're loving Rob. It's always great to see Judge Branning. Judge Branning is always large and in charge, and by large, I mean that in the biblical sense, whatever that means.
He's also a wonderful judge. I love spending time in his courtrooms. He is.
Rob and his wife Noelle, very good friends of the festival.
They do a lot.
Coming
they do
into
a lot.
sight, Cape Coral High School, the Seahawk Marching Band from across the river in Cape Coral, Florida.
You love those colors, don't you, Ted?
I do. Orange and blue, always one of my favorites. Cape Coral is the largest city in Southwest Florida, and actually the second largest city in the state of Florida behind Jacksonville, which is the largest in the country area-wise.
It's also one of the fastest growing
It truly is. all of
in the
Southwest
country, and
Florida.
it's so crazy to see. Every time you turn around, you go into Cape Coral, and there's something new.
It is a waterfront mecca, and the restaurants and the bars that have sprouted up over there in the last couple of years have made it also a destination, as well as the River District, where we are this evening in Southwest Florida.
More canals than Venice, Italy, over there in Cape Coral.
Marching Seahawk Band of Cape Coral High School. We thank them for being a part of the 81st Annual Edison Festival of Light Grand Parade.
And again, we are a couple hours and counting, and it's always amazing to me at this point in the parade, the crowd has not changed.
It's
Everyone,
it's they're all still here.
Everyone
people coming
stays
from
for
the back.
every minute of this experience.
I'm watching our production crew. They're not paying any attention to us. They're watching the parade.
They are, and they've constantly moved a little bit here and there as people have only crowded tighter and tighter
This
into
is
that
still
side.
Cape Coral High School. I understand that they have been stuck in the middle of the Shriners. So my guess is
there could be more Shriners.
After the ROTC goes through, the junior ROTC, we're going to see more Shriners. Got a little show here. They know where the lights are. They know where the cameras are.
Here we are.
Got them stopped, and it's showtime. Very nice.
Great opportunity for those men and women. Still part of the Cape Coral High School.
Yep. I love the trolley. Trolley's coming into view now. We've got a downtown trolley that runs all winter long, several of them actually. They run up and down. Jump on the trolley, it's free.
Yeah,
It's free.
all over the River District you can go.
All over. You park your car somewhere and just use the trolley to get back and forth to the different restaurants and events and different things that we have going on. Once again, in downtown Fort Myers, the first Friday of every month is Art Walk, and this goes on all year, not just in season. And the third Friday of every month is Music Walk, where we've got live music out in front of all of the different restaurants and bars and inside as well.
This trolley sponsored by Vic's Painting this evening.
Notice how well lit it is. It is lit up. Vic's, of course, does a lot of the commercial work here in Southwest Florida. And very happy to have them on board and being a part of the festival. It's great to see them. We're
handing out water as well.
I passed on the water. If I find out later it was vodka, I will be very upset.
We'll take care of it for you, Ted. We will take care of it for you.
Very much. Once again, if you're watching anywhere where it might be a little bit chilly, we are sitting on the corner of Main Street and Broadway here in sunny, well, not sunny tonight, but beautiful Southwest Florida.
It is. It's a balmy 72, probably.
Be 72, 75 degrees. I'm getting warm in my coat and tie, my jacket and tie, just a suit coat. But it is just fabulous out, and it is the 16th of February, so it's very hard to believe that we live here and enjoy this on a regular basis, but it is indeed paradise.
Every single year, the third Saturday, is that right, of February?
Third Saturday in February.
You can find us outside here in downtown Fort Myers.
Next year will be 82 years. This is the Savage 4x4, all lit up,
American
celebrating
flag.
heroes. Celebrating heroes. They've got sheriffs, they've got firemen, they've got police, all the first responders.
United States Navy.
Veterans.
Vietnam
it's so
veterans.
Great. Look at the flags on the back.
What a great float. We know what this says. In honor of the Fort Myers Police Department and fallen officer Adam Jobbers Miller. There is his fiance.
Her family, his family, sitting right behind us this evening in a place of honor, and we appreciate them being here. We appreciate the work that all of our first responders do. It's such a tragic loss when we lost Adam within the last year, wasn't it?
Yes, just this past summer. And he's been honored in a variety of ways throughout the community, throughout the last year or so.
It happens far too often. It happened again yesterday in Aurora, Illinois.
It did. And, it did.
Not to not to go on about it, but something needs to be done. We need to figure out how to make that stop. I don't know that we'll ever be able to, but it is tragic when it does happen.
And
it
we
has
can't
hit
thank our
community.
law
So,
enforcement enough
without
from
a doubt.
the Sheriff's
Cypress Lake High
Office
School,
to
this
them.
is the marching pride, the Panthers of Cypress Lake. I love these colors, the purple and black. Just looks really good.
It does look sharp. And you asked for smiles, and I think you
there
just
they are.
got a few.
That's it, exactly. Well, that's because they know they're nearing the end of the route. They're probably exhausted. It's
That
been a
is
long
true.
walk down here.
It is. The Cypress Lake High School Junior ROTC program coming in now, right behind the band.
My friends Chip and Kim Myers, their son Evan, is marching in this group.
Pretty big Junior ROTC program there.
I'm kind of confused how Evan has gotten old enough to be at high school at this point. I remember when he was born, and it doesn't seem that long ago.
Just yesterday. Don't worry. It was
Time
you
flies.
haven't aged a day
Time
since then,
flies when
Ted.
we're having fun, and I am having a ball. I am having a ball. So,
Our friends at the Florida Weekly
free
coming
newspaper
down the
passed
street
around
now.
all of Southwest Florida. You want to know what's happening? Stop by one of their boxes, pick up the paper. It is actually a great paper. There's a lot of things in
absolutely.
it. If you want to know what's going on, where you can go.
I always
Right
tell
up
you
there on
what's-
the front, he's got a microphone. I guess it's just something to hold on to.
Yeah, just in
And they're
case.
thinking, please hold on.
Yes.
Grab it tightly. Next up, another local business. This is Salty Sam's Waterfront Adventures on the way out to Fort Myers Beach. We appreciate Salty Sam's. They pulled this float in the junior parade last Sunday as well. So they were involved on Sundays, in Sunday's event, and then again this evening.
Of course, in traditional fashion, they've got a boat behind their Celtic Sam's van.
Pirates!
Pirates,
Arr!
of course.
Arr!
Oh gosh, I don't know what you called on, but you called
There
on
we go.
something.
Oh, that's it. You're
thank
engaged.
you.
You're engaged. The boyfriend's not going to be happy with this because that's a big old rock
my
right
engagement
there.
ring on my pinky finger. Mission Barbecue.
Mission Barbecue
coming
is
through now.
awesome. We love Mission Barbecue. That's fantastic. Thank
I think
you.
they're handing out sandwiches to
Oh,
law
that's
enforcement here.
great.
So nice of them. I doubt that those officers expected to get a sandwich there.
You guys are awesome. We love Mission Barbecue.
Thank you guys so
Thank you.
much. This is the
Pink Heels, and they're going to
crew.
have their fire truck. It's coming into view. Have you signed this truck?
I've not signed the truck. I've had
Okay.
the opportunity to see it out, though. I think what they do is so cool.
In honor of, always a pleasure. In honor of those that we've lost to cancer, I have signed the truck.
Thank you so
My
much,
signature
sir.
is on that truck.
I have covered a couple stories with the men and women of the Pink Heels crew.
Not just people that we've lost to cancer, but family and friends that have beaten cancer.
Absolutely. Each of the trucks named after individuals, and of course they take those trucks around town. They use them to brighten the spirits of those who are going through cancer treatments. Such a cool opportunity.
And I put my money where my mouth is.
Well, that is a photo, Ted. You should probably keep that one.
I have been known to raise a lot of money for that particular cause. My sister Jill is 5 years cancer-free after being diagnosed with breast cancer, and we are so thrilled to have her still a part of our family. She is one of the strongest women I know, and I'm always happy to help that cause.
And it's probably a good time for me to say hi to Mom, who's also a breast cancer survivor.
There you go.
Dunbar High School band coming through now.
The Marching Tiger Band.
Look at that.
Right down the street. They're under the direction of Leroy Irving Jr., the Tiger Band, always a staple of the Edison Grand Parade and guaranteed to show up and show out. They're going to do it for us. One of the most televised marching units in Southwest Florida. They've delighted audiences from Jacksonville to Miami with their flashy style, amazing sound, and high-stepping energy, and they're about to show off for us.
And of course, just behind the Dunbar High School band
is the Junior ROTC. Well, let's see what Mission Barbecue threw behind for us.
What?
Shall we?
Ted's getting hungry.
Alrighty then. The Junior ROTC is followed by Hearts and Homes for Veterans, a 501c3 helping veterans in Southwest Florida. Thrilled to have them on board as part of our parade this year. Another great cause.
Of course,
this is a hike for these guys. This is a great parade, and you see the salutes and you see the way they respect the first responders and the law enforcement as they go by.
Yeah, they have been. There is law enforcement up and down this route, so they have absolutely been busy saying hello. It's a beautiful float too. Oh, get it, Hearts and Homes, get it. There's a heart, and then an and sign and the home. It's more people handing out flags as well. There's their van coming too. I believe we've done some news stories with them, Ted.
Have you?
Of some of the homes that they've built or they've helped refurbish for veterans right here in Southwest Florida. It's always nice to see that their ability to give back.
That is a 40-foot motorhome, and there's people
Oh,
all
yeah,
the way.
yeah.
Look, all the
There
way
is.
through. That's a 40-foot motorhome. Happy to be and crossing probably into our vision right there. No,
There it is. Important this time of year.
Florida Forest Service. Although Wednesday, we rarely get rain this time of year. We got an entire day of rain on Wednesday, but that helped bring us this beautiful weather tonight.
It certainly
cooled it off.
did,
It
and
made
it
it just
gave these men and women
little
a bit of a break. Brush fire season, of course, in Southwest Florida.
And look who's behind the Jeep.
And exactly
Everybody's
who
favorite,
we need
Smokey
to see.
the Bear. Smokey the Bear, of course, will tell you that only you
Can prevent forest fire.
That's it. What a great ad campaign that, two people so disparate in ages as you and I know the entire campaign. That's fantastic. Smokey the Bear.
So glad to have them. They even bring a smoke machine with them.
Next up, the Military Support Foundation, supporting our military veterans. Look at the babies on the front. They're just sleeping through the whole thing. They're having a great time. Parade, noise,
Yeah,
what?
everyone's screaming right behind them, and they don't even hear it. It's a really cool track. The statue in the back, honoring our troops here at home and far away. You can see us anywhere in the world here for the very, very first time.
That is just fantastic. We are live streaming courtesy of our friends at FSW, which is Florida Southwestern State College. Our good friend Grover Bo Young, is our producer, and he's got a great crew working with him, the camera folks and the sound technicians that make us, I hope, sound good throughout the evening. Next up, with the Denali truck pulling the float,
for the
this
ranch.
should be the Ranch Concert Hall. We love going to the ranch. They've got a lot of great shows. We always have a good time.
They bring in some great acts.
They really do. A lot of country acts, but they bring in some hip hop. They bring in some classics. They bring in a lot of different things.
I think they brought in Shaggy. I don't know if you know Shaggy.
Thank you. I was there for Shaggy.
Of course you were there.
Shaggy was great. I love Shaggy.
The ranch right up the road here in Fort Myers.
Up the road, it is the former home of the Harley-Davidson dealership, which is now moved out a little further east.
Well, there's a classic Fort Myers
I-75.
fact for you, in case you didn't know. I wasn't aware.
That's true. And they are followed up by the Ride Nature Van, trailers, and skaters.
Oh, literally skaters.
They
Look
are
at that.
skating. There's
On the
a ramp
back.
on the back of the truck. Once again, you need an ambulance behind the truck for me. But look at this.
I mean,
That-
there's
now-
only so many tricks you can do right there, but
I understand, but
if
he's
you
been doing it for 3 miles.
and the physics of that, because the truck is moving and then you're moving. And
You gotta love this one too. It's a Cadillac hearse. And what does it do? It kills bugs.
There we go.
Even bugs deserve a sweet ride home.
Don't they? The Tempo Pest Control Incorporated group here for us.
Those are folks that got off the ranch
Right.
float
Estero
and just
High
ran
School.
across in front. This is Estero High School, first the junior ROTC,
Followed by the band.
and then of course the Estero High School band, and they are our wrap up here this year. See what I can learn about Estero High School if I've got anything about them. I do. The Wildcat Battalion, led by Battalion S3 and Cadet Captain Javier Lopez, with color guard provided by Cadet Second Lieutenant Talon Gant, Cadet Master Sergeant Jason Casanova, Cadet Command Sergeant Major Mark Casal, and Cadet Master Sergeant Elijah Bulkley. They are the Wildcats. They have produced some major athletic talent in Southwest Florida as well, as most of our high schools do. And they are bringing up the rear of the 81st annual Edison Festival of Light Parade. Let's take a listen.
Look at those dance moves.
Bring me some cymbals. Yeah, bring me some cymbals.
Ted's ready to join in. Someone told them they're the grand finale.
They knew right where to stop. My boy with the cymbals is having a good time, isn't he?
As he should be, and not tired yet.
He's dancing to the beat of his own drummer.
Don't mind if he does. Ted spent the whole night asking for a happy-go-lucky band,
There
and
you
I
go.
think we found them.
We see why they closed the show. Is that Perry Mason? Is the theme from Perry Mason? I'm not sure. That's
Look, it's the first time I've ever seen someone get water mid-march.
they're not done yet. They brought a show for the finale.
So many of the instruments decked out as well with the glow sticks and the lights.
You don't get
To
in the
honor.
parade without being lit.
That's
And we are lit.
what I'm told.
That's it.
That is what I'm told. remind everyone, this is after 2+ miles of walking for these high school marching band members.
I just texted our Grand Poobah, Mike Gill, and I told him Estero High is killing it.
Love to see this.
The Wildcat Marching Band getting it done tonight.
They knew they were going to get a minute, and they're going to take every minute.
And you look at the crowd. Nobody's left.
That's what I was just thinking.
Everybody's dancing. They're hanging out. Nobody's trying to get out of here.
And you still look at these dancers. Photographers from the News Press right in the middle of it.
You'll see those shots tomorrow. Or Monday. Maybe both.
Did he say wrong take? My bad. And they're back.
They're not done. They don't want to go home. Look, you can't. You got to look across. The little ones dancing are unbelievable. There's a little guy in blue over there.
How's he still awake?
He is jamming. I'll tell you what. He is just jamming. Ah, big smile on his face. Oh, the looks on the faces, they make it all worthwhile.
They do, and this is really what the Edison Festival of Light Parade is all about.
For young children. This is just spectacular. To see the looks and the glow in their eyes and their wide open mouths. And I'm guaranteeing you it's 2 hours past his bedtime.
And that doesn't seem to matter tonight.
He won't sleep until Tuesday. How about in 16 years, we'll be calling him as he marches by.
I was just going to say, I would be willing to bet that some of these young men and women playing now were him ones.
Oh, the marshals are trying to get him to move. They don't want to stop performing. They are just loving. They're loving the audience reaction.
More to play. The amount of water they've gone through right here in front of us. Of course, a lot of people staying around as well for the fireworks display that we're expecting here at the end of this parade.
Zambelli Fireworks, one of the premier fireworks companies in the world. And I'm not sure people know yet. They'll be surprised when the fireworks finally go off.
And the dancers move forward. A big thanks for the entertainers of the Estero High School Marching Band.
Wildcat Band from Estero, just a bit south of us here in Southwest Florida. As we wrap up another spectacular parade, it is the 81st annual Edison Festival of Light Parade.
There's the cart that says parade end. That's how we know.
That's a good sign. And
that we made it.
9:37 our time, so it was a good 2-hour parade, 130 units with countless youngsters, oldsters, animals. We just had a fabulous time here.
Everyone
on a spectacular
in between.
weather night, just a spectacular weather night here.
I'll take this opportunity to thank Ted Fitzgeorge, of course, and the entire board and all of the men and women who put on this spectacular festival.